home game. Master tactician. Adam, first bill for Sky, 2015. Now, obviously, Anthony Joshua off could have slightly diluted the bill, but it's actually a really meaty bill.
It's a fantastic card, isn't it? I think, Anthony, obviously, it's a big disappointment, both for fight fans, for himself, and obviously to start the year with real momentum after what was a terrific 2014. But, Joshua needs to rest the back, and he'll be back in April. But the rest of the card is, as you said, fantastic. I think Kevin Mitchell against Daniel Estrada is a pick-em. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I was just told that the odds are heavily in favour of Kevin. I don't see it that way. I think Mitchell, if he gets everything right, should have too much class. But will everything be right with Kevin? You never really know with him. That's what makes him a fascinating proposition. And Daniel Estrada is a tough guy. He's come off a world title challenge. He had bad preparations for that. He had personal tragedy in the build-up to that. He wouldn't have been right on that night. Juan Manuel Marquez and Nacho Beristain, they do not come over if they don't believe in their man. He's here to win, and I see that as a very, very tight fight. So great top of the bill. John Ryder. Big soft spot for John. I think he's a really, really dark horse, a big dark horse in the middleweight division. I think he's going to come to fruition. A good southpaw who can punch. I think the loss against Billy Joe Saunders is just part of experience and knowledge. I think it's I don't buy this sort of zero record, keeping unbeaten fighters all the time. I think it's great. It's a great learning fight for him against Billy Joe. I think Ryder will really come on well. Looking forward to seeing him. And then the two fights, the trade fights as we call them, are fantastic. They're real pick'ems, 50-50 ones, plenty of needle between both sets. And Tyler Goodjohn's never in a bad fight. Ricky Boylan, can he bounce back? John Wayne Hibbert sold 600 tickets. Terrific stuff, isn't it?
Well, I was talking to Boylan earlier, and I think, going back to I think the mentality of boxers is so important. He said a very bad preparation before the first fight. Now he's with Jamie Moore for the second time. He's been sacrificed not being with his family for 8 weeks. He's up in Manchester. I think he feels 2015 is going to be a big year for him.
I think so. I mean, he's a really nice guy, isn't he? And we wish him well. With Jamie Moore, our friend and colleague, he's a very good young trainer, Jamie, as well as being a great pundit and a good former fighter, of course, as well. So he's in safe hands there with Jamie and Nigel Travis up there. And they're telling me he's like a Manc fighter now. So I'm looking forward to seeing Ricky Boylan on Saturday night. And I think that he's got to prove after the Goodjohn defeat that that he belongs at a good level. He's certainly got the dedication and the passion, the hunger, but he's got a tough fight. And so, it'll be really interesting to see what happens. But, if he can get a win, he can get his career rolling again.
Going back to the headlining bill, do you feel this really is Kevin Mitchell's last chance?
Yeah, it's difficult to say anyone's last chance. Boxing's funny the way it works.
Been there twice before, though.
Yeah, I know. He had a big stage at Upton Park and he blew it against Michael Katsidis and obviously he lost to Ricky Burns. But he's had good wins as well. Bredis Prescott was a wonderful win when he stood him on his head really after Prescott had beaten Khan. And, he dug deep at Wembley as well. He didn't look good that night, and he dug deep on the Froch Groves bill. So you never know with Kevin. If he's right, his head's right, he's happy, and a happy fighter's a good fighter, and he seems in that place.
He appears to be so much more positive.
He does. But, obviously he is older now. He's not got probably the speed and reflexes of youth, but, he should be, class-wise, good enough to deal with an Estrada and go on to fight for a world title. But you don't quite know with Kevin, and Estrada could be better than he was against Figueroa. That's what makes it fascinating. But I don't think it's last chance saloon, but I think if he loses badly, it'll be tough to come back.
Now I have to ask you, there's obviously a lot of talk about Mayweather and Pacquiao. I know you had a special interview with Pacquiao this week. How was that?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean,
Seems such a hum.
He's lovely, Manny. I'm a big supporter, fan, of both Pacquiao and Mayweather. I've always said that I think Floyd Mayweather is the greatest boxer to lace them up since Sugar Ray Leonard. I think he's almost punch perfect. If there's any criticism, there's maybe a slight decline over the last couple of Maidana fights. But I've always said that I think Mayweather, the only man that beats him is himself. But we all want to see Manny Pacquiao have a go, don't we? The speedy southpaw. He's done everything that's asked of him in the sport. He's a multi-weight champion. Who thought from turning as a strawweight that you could do anything like what he's done in boxing? The upset win over Oscar De La Hoya, the annihilation of Ricky Hatton, the series with Marquez, the wins over Morales. He's been brilliant, Manny Pacquiao. He deserves the opportunity to go in with Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather needs Manny Pacquiao just to cement that legacy. You know, he would start a favourite. Obviously, most people would think Mayweather would win that fight, and if they have two. But, you know, Pacquiao's southpaw speed, you can never count him out. And I'd like to know that Floyd Mayweather would retire having tick that box with Manny Pacquiao. It's the fight that the whole world wants to see, and it's a fight that I think will be made this weekend at Super Bowl. That's the stage that Mayweather announces. It's the
I believe May the 2nd it will be happening.
I think it will be. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been suckered in like we have been so many times.
Did Manny give away anything at all?
Well, he talked to us after the interview, and he asked Johnny and I what we thought would happen if they did meet. To me, that seems like a fighter that knows what's going to happen. Obviously, the cards lie with Floyd, but it's closer than it's ever been.
Stage set up at the basketball.
Everything. The stage set up at the basketball. The word I'm hearing from the States is that it is almost a done deal, and that it will be announced, you know, hopefully this weekend over the Super Bowl, or maybe next week. If it's not, it's not, and we all go back to square one, and Mayweather fights Cotto, and Pacquiao then goes a different route and fights Jesse Vargas or maybe Amir Khan. But I don't know. Fingers crossed, but my gut feeling is it happens now.
Just very quickly, I know your very good friend Paul Smith, February the 21st, back in with Abraham. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a very good friend of mine. We're very, very close, Paul. Have been for a number of years, not just because we support the same football team, but...
We won't talk about your football team.
Talk about that. I thought we did very well against Chelsea over two legs. But Paul is a great guy, and he's going to be a fantastic analyst. He already is, in addition to the Sky team beyond boxing. We know that. He's got a terrific opportunity. He was great, wasn't he, first time out against Arthur Abraham. You know, I thought he boxed beyond all expectations. I think he was really unlucky on the cards. It was a very close fight. He could have just nicked it, but obviously hometown decision. However, the one scorecard was the you know, the aberration, the controversy, the huge, you know, the wrong, really. It was a terrible result, that particular one. So Paul's got rightfully his rematch. Can he do it? Of course he can. He can go in. He can give absolutely everything again. Arthur Abraham may be on the slide. He may be able to take him out this time, but it is tough. Will he try and go for the knockout and then risk getting knocked out himself? It's a tough one tactically. He absolutely believes he gets it right. Can he get it right? He can, but it is a tough ask.
Very exciting 2015. Thank you for talking to me, and enjoy the bill tomorrow.
We will do. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.